So it turns out that asbestos is a natural product. When I say asbestos, the experts will tell you that it's actually different crystals and combinations, but for the purposes of my amateur presentation, let's talk about asbestos as a natural product. We all have some in our systems. It's floating around in the room. It's in our systems naturally, because that's just what it is. And you look on the internet and it says if you drill down into the Arctic ice and pull up a core, you'll find this chrysotile asbestos. And it says it's been a ubiquitous contaminant for 10,000 years. Contaminant. Asbestos is part of the environment. It's like saying oxygen has contaminated the environment. You know, it's part of what the environment is. So that sort of language we use skews us to look at this thing in a certain way. So cumulative exposure to some forms of asbestos can cause terrible injuries and terrible illnesses, and that's perfectly clear, and I don't think anyone here disputes that. So the question is, what is safe? And that applies to lots of things: alcohol, sugar, sunlight, aspirins, cars. You know, how much is safe? Oh, look at the lives we're going to lose because of asbestos. Yeah, sure, but we're going to lose X thousand lives on the road, and no one seriously says we should all drive at 2 miles an hour. I mean, we all accept there's some sort of risk out there just for living. This isn't disputed. EC directive, famous directive on this subject going back to 1999, I think it was. No threshold level of exposure has yet been identified below which does not pose cancer risks. You can't say what is safe. Same applies to sunlight. Exactly the same phrase can be applied to this. So the question is, how much sunlight is good for you or bad for you? There isn't a point at which you can say, well, just below this point, it's too dangerous. Just above this point, it's fine, or whatever. But here's that sort of thought, the idea that you can't promote, that it's sort of, you can't prove where it's safe, and therefore it's all dangerous, leads to sort of things these guys say, the EFBWW. This is a typical thing you'll find. Some of you may even be part of this organization. There's an urgent need for a comprehensive plan to eliminate all Europe's remaining asbestos. And you'd have to have a multifaceted plan covering this, you know, really sort of big plan. And these sort of documents are out there by the thousands, you know, in public life now.